Welcome to my channel, Ambiguous Designs. First video. Yeah, doing DIY all the time. People, friends, family always say, you should really video that, get it on YouTube. So let's just see, let's go on a journey, see what happens. A little small project, doing a door knocker. We bought our house a couple of years ago, doing jobs here and there around about the house, and yeah, this one of the small jobs that's been neglected, which I thought, you know what, let's do a video and let's make it my first one for Ambiguous Designs. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's see if we can grow the channel into something positive. So the door had the knocker on it. It's quite worn, old looking, as you can see in the photos. Thought I'd give it a little... I didn't want to spray paint it. I just think powder coating always lasts longer, looks better. Yeah, so here's a little tutorial on how to do some powder coating. Don't get me wrong, it's maybe not the right way, but it's the way I do it, and I've not had any fail yet, so yeah, take it as it is, a little bit of fun, and yeah, hopefully help somebody out. This is the blast cabinet that I use. It's an M2S branded in the UK. It's pretty reasonably priced, to be honest with you. I think you'd probably say it was like a Harbour Freight equivalent. Standard cabinet. I've made some modifications to it just to keep it a little bit safer. Does a good job, a really good job. So if anyone's interested in the modifications that I've done, I can highlight them later. But yeah, this is a cabinet that we're using to be doing the blasting. And I run crushed glass in it because it's illegal to use sand. Although they call it a sand blaster, it's actually illegal to use sand in the UK. So yeah, crushed glass, no silica. I also wear a mask as well and use a vacuum. So yeah, this is a little blaster that we use, and yeah, it does a cracking job, to be honest with you. So we'll just blast this piece in the cabinet and take away any grime, patina, dirt. It's been sitting since the 80s on the door. It's had a good life to itself. So yeah, if you didn't do it, you would end up with failings on the finished item. The powder might not stick to it. I mean, it would stick in some places, but you're definitely going to get some kind of failings, chippings. It's always best to give it a nice clean surface to stick to. There you go, done. Put that close to the door so it's easy to get out. And here's the finished item. Nice key, ready for the powder to adhere to it. It's got a nice matte finish to it throughout. Usually you see brass, it's nice and shiny, but that's got a nice matte texture. Yeah, ready for the powder, which we'll move on to the degassing stage next. So with metal, what you want to do is degas it. So I'm going to put this in the oven, get it really hot, and let any surface gases, any little small imperfections on the metal just pop out, because if you don't, they will make their way through your powder coat and you'll get wee bubbles. So this is what we're going to be using for powder coating. And when I first seen this, I was sceptical, because I thought there's no way, because it's not a conventional powder coating gun, which you'll see in a second. But what I will tell you is I was pleasantly surprised with how good it is. So what you get in the kit: an air strap. Standard, you get a couple of empty bottles. I've obviously put some powder in them. A couple of moisture filters, and then this, the gun. So what I'm led to believe is that it's got Teflon tubes inside here, which causes static. So there's no electricity used, it's safe. The only thing you put in it is air. When you apply the trigger, obviously with your bottle on the end of it and your powder, it fires out, which you'll see in a second when we use it. And it's surprisingly good, honestly. I was converted because I thought there's no way that that's going to work, but you'll see it does, and I've done some good projects with it. So there you go, that's electrostatic magic. It's a UK invention, quite a small family business I believe, but yeah, fantastic. Can't say anything bad about it if I'm totally honest with you. So there you go. Easy coat, electrostaticmagic.co.uk. That we're going to be using. So, bottle, gloss black, thread it on. It's as simple as that. Air hose on it. Now I know the pressure's already set, so no little pressure dials here. You get it how you like it. I've got it how I like it. Good to go. So whilst that's degassing, I've made a little box here which I'm just going to jump on to show you to help me powder coat the item. This is a box that originally I'd made for projecting onto the side of the house. So it housed a little projector, kept it safe from the rain. So as you can see, the sort of lighter part there was the top of it, but that's where the roof would be. On the front, which is now the top, there's glass. So it worked out perfectly for powder coating. It let lots of light in, so you guys could see exactly what I was doing. And it keeps the powder away from the rest of the room. So all I'm doing here is I'm just putting a little hole through it to allow a vacuum nozzle to go in. So I've got a little portable vacuum that I move around about, and a little workhorse vacuum actually that's really good. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just drilling a little hole. You'll see the step bit smoking a little bit, so it is pretty hot. It's not the correct tool to be using here, admittedly, it really isn't. However, they're very cheap, they're replaceable. I'll get lots more life out of this tool yet. You see the smoke coming off it there, so it is actually quite hot. However, as I say, don't roast me for it. It's what I had to hand, saved me going to the shop to get a hole saw the correct size for the vacuum, because this one was perfect. So this is what we're doing here, and it made a nice clean hole. So as I say, it's make do with what you have and do the best job you can. There you go, a nice clean hole. As I say, it fits the vacuum nozzle perfectly, so there's nothing special about this box. It's literally just an old project that doesn't get used anymore, which I'm repurposing. And we'll make a proper one on the channel, and because it actually worked out better than I was hoping it was going to. So you'll see me just tidying up here. Better to keep up than catch up, so hoover up all the mess, and yeah, we'll move on to the next part of the video. So what we have now, literally just a glass top so as I can get some light into film for you guys, but what we have now is a box which we'll be using as a spray booth, which I'll be powering while we vacuum. Oh, here we go. Right, so the items came out of the oven. It's been in there degassing. It's been in for 20 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius, just to get it nice and hot and let any imperfections gas off. That's about 400 Fahrenheit. So I'm ready to spray it now, which you'll see in the video. So what you'll notice, because the metal is hot, the powder's hitting and instantly flowing out. If you were putting it on cold items, it would go on matte and the powder can fall off, whereas with this it started to cure straight away. So we'll spray it
and we'll get it in the oven for 10 minutes at 200 degrees or 400 Fahrenheit.
Minutes, what I do, switch the heat off to the oven and I just leave it where it is, unless I'm doing multiple things, but I like to just leave it where it is and just let it cool. Patience is the game here, so we'll just see what happens, see how it turned out. So our little project is done. Still, it's warm, but you can touch it now. So I like to just leave it to cure properly. When you touch it, you can feel the heat coming off it. Patience is the game. Patience is the game. When you go touching it, that's when you're likely to mess it up or chip it or do something. But I mean, to be fair, that looks pretty good, if I'm honest. Better than it was. I'll leave it to cool, and then I can install it on the door. Pretty happy with that. So, two things. Ran into a little issue. The screws that I have, black, they're not the same black. Now, it might not annoy a lot of people, but I don't know. Personally, don't know if you can see that if it's showing up. I'd like them to be a bit more shiny, more glossy to match the knocker. Second thing, they're slightly too big, just ever so slightly. So I've had to just widen out the hole. But always, once you've done it, do it from the back. So just gently, ever so gently, just offer it up, do it from the back, and that way you're not going to mess up your finished coating on the front. You would never know that I've widened those holes. But I think we're going to have to do something about that. Now I've got a couple of options. I could powder coat them. We might end up doing that. Something I've done in the past, which I might do here, is just stick a Sharpie on it, which looks fantastic when it's wet. You would never know the difference. However, that is, I'm almost 100% sure that's not going to look right when it's done, and it won't last very long either. I think we might just end up having to powder coat these, because it does definitely look better black. So we'll see. Let's just see if that's possible. So, piece of metal, 3 holes. I was trying to work out a really overcomplicated, clever way of doing it, but to be honest, simple is the best way to do it. So I can earth this, I can powder coat them, and hopefully it's worth the effort. And if you're going to do it wrong right, that's what I always say. Let's be honest, most things I do is wrong anyway, so let's crack on. Didn't show you, I showed you the strap, but really it just goes around your wrist. What I prefer doing, because I found it quite awkward taking it on and off, especially if you're trying to be in a hurry to get things in the oven and whatnot, is I just put my thumb on the metal plate and it seems to work perfect. So I've put it through a little hole that I've got on the side of this box that I've made. It's clipped onto the metal, which should be earthing through all the little screws. And yeah, that's it. What crossed my mind, I'm going to go against my own advice, okay? So usually what I do is I let it cool down in the oven and I leave it. However, I've powder coated these with the bit metal. So what I don't want to happen is for them to stick. So I'm just going to get some long nose pliers and just break them free off their own powder coating before they're cooled. There you go, see? See, if I'd let that cool, that would have been set to that and it would have just absolutely destroyed the effect I'm going for. So I'm glad I thought about that. Cool. Right, now we'll just leave them there to cool. I've put them on a bit cork so it doesn't melt my pad. So, done, cooled. They're pretty small, so they cool as quick as they heat up, to be honest. Pretty quick. Now let's see. So, this is what we originally thought Sharpie. I mean, say it's got like a purple tint to it. Probably don't know if you can see that. Doesn't match, it stands out like a sore thumb. And then the original ones, they're pretty matte looking against the gloss. Personally, I just think they look a bit stupid. I don't know, just overcomplicating it, why not? Why break a habit of a lifetime for me? I think that looks much better. Much better. For the sake of what, half an hour extra work? A lot of people wouldn't notice it, but I personally just think that looks so much better. I don't know. You be the judge, you tell me, would you have bothered doing it? I think it's worth it. Cool. Now, ready to go in the door?
So before we get too excited and leave a mess, we'll clean the gun up. So this is how I do it.
Pull the trigger. Just let any powder that's in the gun fall back in the bottle. You're still going to get some left in it, but you're never going to save all, ever. So we'll hoover that back in. There you go. Ready for the next time we want to use it. One. Two. Last one. There we go. Now, definitely, 100%, I think it was a good idea to colour code the screws. Definitely. See if we can get a bit better like this. Yeah, look at that. Nice little job done. Makes the door look so much better. Yeah. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's see where we can take this.